me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Juggernaut Retro Reviews. And today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 35. And this is probably going to be the last retro WrestleMania that I review for 2025. And I will be getting to WrestleMania 41. I'll be having my full thoughts on that, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, WrestleMania 35. We go all the way back to April 7th, 2019. And this show was held from East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. This is the second time that they were at MetLife Stadium. The first time they did WrestleMania 29, which wasn't all that great. This was a lot better here, but my God, this was a long show. Like with the pre-show included, this was the longest WrestleMania. And this was the last WrestleMania before they moved to 2 nights, because with the whole pandemic. But yeah, WrestleMania here. Let's quit wasting time and let's go ahead and get started with this review, because we got a lot of matches to review here. So we have the show kicked off with the WWE Universal Championship. So we had Paul Heyman come out. He basically said, since if he's not going on last, he's going to go on first, because he doesn't want to be, going in, semi-main event in the show. He wants to go right now, get out of the way, and get out of here, head to Las Vegas, because there's people that care about Brock Lesnar more. So we had Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins does his entrance. Brock Lesnar attacks him before he can even get to the ring. They brawl outside for a few minutes before the match even gets started. Brock Lesnar was just beating him down. I felt like it was like a 5-minute beatdown. And then finally the match gets going. They ring the bell. Brock Lesnar, he tries to go for the F5, but Rollins reverses it, and they do this whole big ref bump. And Rollins hits a low blow while the ref was down. And then Rollins hits like 3 consecutive curb stomps and pins Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship. So it was a pretty quick squash match. Rollins looked really good here. I was happy about this when I was watching it, and I'm still happy about this, because I was never a big fan of Brock Lesnar as a champion. Like, he didn't need the title, and he was always part-timing. He wasn't there weekly. And he didn't care to work with some of these guys. So if you don't care to work with some of these guys, then why are you there? But yeah, Brock Lesnar ends up losing to Seth Rollins, and we got a new Universal Champion here, which was a good way to start off the show. And then next match we had was AJ Styles going up against Randy Orton. 2 legends in their own rights here. I gotta say, sometimes with Randy Orton matches, it seems like it's hard, to get the crowd into it. I don't know what it is, but right here, I mean, this could be a main event caliber match, but it just seemed like an average, just like a Raw match or something you see like on a B-level pay-per-view, like a mid-card match. That's what this seemed like here, and what it was. AJ Styles, there were times where he tried to go for the phenomenal forearm, but it looks like Randy was going to, he kind of teased that he was going to do a mid-air RKO. That was pretty nice. AJ Styles hit a nice 450 splash in the match. That was pretty cool. Springboard 450. It was surprising to see AJ Styles kick out of the RKO. They were doing a lot of back and forth in this match. I was surprised to see all the back and forth that they were doing. But AJ Styles ends up winning by hitting the phenomenal forearm on Randy Orton. So the winner match was AJ Styles. Fun matcher, really good stuff. I enjoyed it. So yeah. Next match we had was the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line in a Fatal 4-Way. So we had the Usos defend the titles against Aleister Black and Ricochet, Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, and we had the bar of Cesaro and Sheamus. I gotta tell you, Cesaro and Sheamus, they were definitely really heavily cheered a lot in this match. With when Cesaro was doing the King of Swing, and also Sheamus was doing the 10 beats of the Valorant on like everybody in the match. That was cool. It was nice to see Ricochet, what he could do. This was cool stuff here. The Usos were doing nice stuff. It seems like everybody was just, this was a very fluid match. I wish they had a little bit more time. They only got 10 minutes. Like, they should have got like 20 minutes or 15 minutes. But yeah, this was definitely a fun match. I enjoyed it. The Usos ended up retaining their titles there. It seems like they always do these multi-man tag team matches at WrestleMania. They want to just get, everybody on the card. So they just make a big multi-man match. But yeah, the Usos retain here. Fine match. All right, and then the next match we had was a Falls Count Anywhere match between Shane McMahon and The Miz. Now, Shane McMahon as a heel, he was getting a lot of heel heat here, and I really like when Shane's a heel because like he really tries to bring it out, like he tries to make that babyface a star, and The Miz, he's never really, never had like been like a big old huge babyface, but like here he was getting like The Miz was showing a lot of emotion, he was portraying himself a lot, he was trying to defend his dad and stuff after Shane put his hands on his dad. This was pretty fun. They fought into the crowd. Shane didn't do like anything like any crazy bump. There was this one bump where Shane, he got punched in the face, like they were fighting in the crowd, and Shane like landed on a golf cart and then dropped to the floor. Like they were like on a where all the commentators were at in the crowd. So that was a pretty cool spot. But the match ends when they're like on this scaffold. It kind of reminds me of the WrestleMania 17 ending with Undertaker and Triple H. But yeah, they're on a scaffold. The Miz does a big superplex off the scaffold, like into a whole bunch of does a suplex off a scaffold. But as they land, Shane ends up landing on top of The Miz and ends up pinning him. So the last few minutes of the match, the Miz was just beating him up, but The Miz still lost the match, even though Shane took like all the beating. Yeah, it was kind of a crazy spot, and the way that Shane just landed on top, he barely got the win, but yeah, Shane McMahon won here. All right. And then the next match we have is the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line. We got the Boston Hug connection of Bayley and Sasha Banks, Nia Jax and Tamina, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, and then we had the Iconics of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. We got another Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match here. This actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. There were some sloppy parts in this match that weren't the greatest, but I really like the ending results, or like the way it went down, like with Beth Phoenix hitting the Glamazon, or what's her finisher called? I can't remember Beth Phoenix finisher. I can't remember how it all went down, but yeah, Beth Phoenix shaded her finisher in the corner, and it was Peyton Royce. She did the tag in, because I'm pretty sure it was on Tamina that was taking it. Yeah, Tamina was taking that move. But then the Iconics, they come in to basically take advantage, and they win the women's tag team title. So yeah, fine match here, nothing crazy. I don't remember a lot from the match, but yeah, it was okay for what it was. All right, next match we have is the WWE Championship online. We had Daniel Bryan with Rowan defending the title against Kofi Kingston. And Kofi Kingston had Xavier and Big E in his corner. This is when the whole Kofi Mania happened, This kind of takes me back to WrestleMania 30, when Daniel Bryan was trying to get into the main event, when people were basically hijacking the shows, to get Daniel Bryan, that people wanted Daniel Bryan in the main event. Well, this is kind of in that same situation here, but except it's with Kofi. Because people want to see Kofi, you know, after 11 long years, he wins the WWE Championship, which was a really feel-good moment. Like this should have been like, this could have been the main event. Like I wouldn't have been mad at that. Like with how much the emotions there were with this match. But like with this whole build-up, like they were calling Kofi a B+ player, you know, kind of like how they did with Daniel Bryan. So it's kind of like roles reversed here. And they just put like roadblock after roadblock up for Kofi Kingston to not be in this title match here. No, but this match here, this was awesome stuff. Like Daniel Bryan, this was some amazing work as a heel. This was very good stuff. Kofi Kingston, he ends up winning the match here. I also like all the different transitions that they were doing, like the way Kofi was selling also, and the way that Daniel Bryan was locking in the label lock. That was really nice stuff. But yeah, this was just a fun match, and seeing Kofi get his big moment at WrestleMania. I mean, his title reign wasn't all that great, but his moment here at WrestleMania was just huge. I love it. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, Kofi Kingston becomes new WWE champion, and then he brings his kids in the ring. They were celebrating with him. Like I said, this could have been the main event. I would have been fine with it. All right, then the next match we had was the United States Championship on the line. We had Samoa Joe defending the title against Rey Mysterio. Yeah, this was Samoa Joe's first ever WrestleMania match. It was unfortunate that they didn't get Samoa Joe a lot earlier, like 2013, 2014. You know, I just wish they would have got Joe a lot earlier in his career to have more big WrestleMania moments. But yeah, this match here, this match did not last that long. It was like, what is it saying on here? It was 58 seconds. Joe chokes out Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio gets a little bit of offense in, but yeah, Joe reverses it and then puts in the Coquina clutch. Puts Rey Mysterio to sleep here. So yeah, Samoa Joe retains his United States title. Nothing much else to say about this match, so we'll move on. Next match we had was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. This was Roman Reigns' first match back from, after beating leukemia. Drew McIntyre, he was talking about his family, so he was making this personal with Roman Reigns. I gotta say, this was nothing to like write home about with a Roman Reigns match. This is when he was still doing the big dog stuff. I mean, this is kind of just an average match. Roman Reigns ends up winning here. They didn't do anything over the top here, for Roman Reigns' first match back. But yeah, he went by doing a spear and all that. So, I mean, it was okay stuff. I seen a lot better stuff with Roman. But yeah, Roman Reigns wins. The next match we had was Triple H going up against Batista in a no-holds-barred match. And if Triple H would have lost, then he would have to retire. And also, I like how they had Shawn Michaels on commentary. That was really good there. Yeah, this match wasn't doing it for me for some reason. Like, we know Triple H and Batista's backstory, so, with them trying to make it, like, really personal, I just couldn't really buy into all that. And I don't think people were too enthusiastic to see Batista back. Like, in the stuff that they were doing, like, with Triple H getting the pliers and, like, trying to rip the nose ring out of Batista, or, like, using the pliers, like, on the hands of Batista was just very, very gross. I did not like that. Also, I did try to do a few table bumps, but those didn't end up going all that great. Like where the table didn't break. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this match here, it kind of reminds me of that match from WrestleMania 29 with Triple H and Brock Lesnar. And this was also at the same venue. This is also at MetLife as well. But yeah, this match here, I don't know. It just really wasn't doing it for me. Also, the match went on way too long. With the age that Batista and Triple H are in. Yeah, this went on way too long. I mean, yeah, but I mean, it was okay stuff. I mean, Batista, he's really found his niche right now. He loves doing this Hollywood stuff. Loves doing his movies. So, I think he's satisfied with what he's doing. But they bring Batista like for these moments, and like nobody really cares about him all like that. But yeah, Batista. I mean, Triple H ends up winning here. He has a sledgehammer on Batista, so Triple H wins. It was okay. I mean, these guys have good chemistry, but not much people really cared to see this match, to be honest. And also we had Ric Flair out there. He handed the sledgehammer to Triple H. But yeah, we move on to the next match, which we had was Baron Corbin going up against Kurt Angle, and this was Kurt Angle's retirement match. Yeah, this match was very disappointing. I felt like, this was very bad promoted, for this being Kurt Angle's last retirement match, and I wish they would have had someone better for Kurt Angle to face. And also with him going like out losing, I'm just not. That just didn't sit right with me. And have it be Baron Corbin, no, I just was not a fan of that. Baron Corbin ends up winning here. Kurt Angle, I mean, he was doing some nice stuff in this match. Hitting some nice suplexes. I don't know. I just don't know why they had made him lose to Baron Corbin. Like, did they not have anybody else for Kurt Angle to face? Like, I have no idea. Also, the match was very short. Nobody cared for it that much. So, but people love cheering for Kurt Angle. They love doing the "you suck." They did all that as Kurt Angle left, which he really enjoyed doing that. But yeah, Kurt Angle lost here to Baron Corbin. Disappointing. All right. And then the next match we had was the Intercontinental title on the line. We had Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush defending the title against the Demon Finn Balor. Now, I thought this match wasn't going to get portrayed all that great, with the placement that this match was in. But to be honest, this wasn't all that bad. I mean, Finn Balor, he got a lot of cheers here. Now this match was okay, nothing crazy. I mean, I feel like Bobby Lashley just was gonna beat Finn Balor, but no, Finn Balor, he got some offense in, hit the coup de grace to end up becoming a new IC champion. So Finn Balor wins here. Okay, and then we had the main event, which was the winner take all for the WWE for the Raw Women's Championship and for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We had Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. This is when Becky Two Belts, became a thing. The man Becky Two Belts. Yeah, I mean, this was all three of these women. They worked amazing with each other. Like, this was some amazing work that they were doing. Becky Lynch ends up winning here when Ronda Rousey was going for the Piper's Pit. Becky Lynch reverses it into a crucifix. So I really enjoyed that. And, you had the big moment of Becky Lynch holding both the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championship up. Like I said, this is when Becky Lynch was on, really was on an amazing roll. And this was very historic. This was the first time that the women main evented WrestleMania. I mean, like I said, I feel like I wish it was the men. I felt like it was Daniel Bryan and Kofi that should have main evented. But hey, I'm not mad about this. All three women cooked in this match. This was good stuff. Charlotte, she was doing some nice stuff. Ronda Rousey, I didn't care for all that much, but she was doing okay. When she's in some of these big moments, she does okay. But yeah, Becky Lynch ends up winning here. And that is how WrestleMania 35 ended. Overall, WrestleMania 35 is an enjoyable show. I gotta say that. This is too damn long. Too damn long of a show. Like on Peacock, it shows it's like 5 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. That's just way too much. Like, I'm so happy WrestleMania is 2 nights these days. And also, the logo for WrestleMania was very ugly this year. I was not a fan of that. And also the staging. I was not a fan of that year as well. But yeah, that's how WrestleMania 35 ended. But if there was any one match that I would have you guys go back and check, if you never checked it out before, I would say go check out the Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan match. The main event you could check out. What else? Everything else on here is just okay. Nothing to write home about. It's an okay WrestleMania. Better than 34, but... And also, we had Cena come out as a Dr. Thugonomics. I forgot about that. He interrupted Elias like he did the previous year for 34. So I just want to mention that. But yeah, that's how WrestleMania 35 went down. That's all the stuff here. If this is your first time ever checking out my channel, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button to help out my videos in the algorithm. And also go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the True JSB. Once again, it's at the True JSB. And I will see you guys in my next video whenever that may be. So peace out.